Speaking of hate, Shane, got to start here with the Saturday action with the Iron Bowl because, man, you hated this one if you were an Auburn fan, let me tell you, because you were in control of this thing for the vast majority of the game. Although it was only a 10-0 lead, I mean, it felt like 100 for a little while. The way Alabama was playing, their offensive line was struggling. They were struggling to run the ball. Hell, both these teams. I mean, it was more or less two teams that could do almost nothing right on the offensive side. Auburn was getting a big play here or there, which led to obviously their 10-point lead. But, man, at the end of the day, once again, you got to be sick to your stomach if you're an Auburn fan. You blow another double-digit lead here. Bryce Young had to lead his team. I believe it was a 97-yard drive with about 90 seconds left in the football game. And he got it done, buddy. He threw a touchdown, an unbelievable touchdown, and an unbelievable touchdown catch by Brooks, the freshman receiver there for Alabama, to kick this thing into overtime. And, man, we said it once, we'll say it again. The more I watch of this damn overtime 2-point shootout, the more I hate it, Shane. I mean, I just don't get it, particularly when they go back into their third overtime. They got to start doing the shootout style. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite like football to me. I don't get your thoughts on that. But, at the end of the day, if you're Brian Harsin, you had an opportunity at the end of, what was it, the second overtime period? No, excuse me, the first overtime period. Alabama scored. They kicked the extra point. You get the ball. You score a touchdown. We've seen it with Sam Pittman. We've seen it with Eli Drinkowitz. You kind of have to. You have to go for two there, I think, because you pull out your best 2-point play and you play to win. That's how you play in the damn Iron Bowl when you're a huge underdog. And, I get it. Sometimes you say, well, you're the home team. You keep it going. And I understand that logic. But if you watch this game, if you were in that stadium, I mean, I was stunned that Auburn managed to score a touchdown. I don't know about you, Shane, but it was a gut punch of epic proportion. It felt like Alabama was just going to steamroll Auburn in the overtime. And outside of an outstanding catch here or there, they kind of did. So, I don't know. I feel like you almost had to steal it after leading for most of the game. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, there's a lot, Mike. This was a fantastic football game. This is one at the end you can't go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because it keeps you all up all night thinking about what could have, what should have. I can only imagine being an Auburn fan because let's face it, man. And I know there's a lot of Alabama fans that listen to this show. You got the bullseye on your back. Okay, you're the big guy. You're the big man on campus. We know that. You've won national championships. You've gone through seasons undefeated. You're used to people hating you. Okay, because everybody likes the underdog story. Hell, you ever seen Rocky Balboa? We didn't watch it because of the Russian guy. We watched it because we wanted Rocky to beat him. You know what I'm saying? That's what college football is all about. You're always pulling for the underdog, and I'm not different. I told you on my prediction that I predicted Alabama to win this game, but deep down inside, Mike, you really wanted Auburn to give them a hell of a game, and that's exactly what they did, especially on the defense, man. This defense came to play, man. They were not allowing Alabama to run the ball at all. They were all over Young back there, making him to make mistakes early in the game. But as the game slows down, you start nitpicking certain decisions like that. Like TJ's interception, it's like, what the hell did you throw that? You know what I'm saying? Why did Tank go out of bounds? I get he was so close to a first down. Why did you run that next play? So you can critique these little things, on the second overtime. I don't know anybody's talking about it, but that was not running into the kicker. That is a personal foul. You just knocked that dude out. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why that's a 5-yard penalty. But anyway, all that could be said, but then I think the biggest thing for me is just how great this defense was playing. Why, when it was 90 seconds left in this game, did we not have our ears pinned back and send some damn pressure back there? Because I know they were still getting it back there with the 4 that they were bringing, but I'm talking some pressure, man. Some linebacker, forcing him to make those decisions like that. Don't give him a long time to dance around and just nickel and dime it all the way down the field, because you felt like when that was happening that Alabama wasn't going to be stopped. So yes, there's parts of me that hates it for Auburn because you were so damn close. I can only imagine you're still up at night thinking about this game. This was your SEC championship, man. You didn't have a chance to knock them off, and so I hate that for Auburn. But on the flip side of the coin, I love it for Alabama, and this is why, Mike, because I think if Alabama would have lost this game, there's no way you could have got them in the college football playoffs. These guys, this committee wants so bad for there to only be one SEC team. And if it's not obvious by these rankings, then come on, man, wake up. They don't want two SEC teams in there. You know what I'm saying? In fact, this game may have hurt Alabama, because if Alabama loses to Georgia and it's close, I don't know if they get in, man, just because of this game right here, because they're saying, well, Arkansas was a one-score game. Auburn was a one-score game. They lost to Texas A&M. Look how many teams they lost to. How can we justify putting Alabama in there? So this was not a good game. But I will tell you, Alabama finds a way to win. They're going to have to win. I think, Mike, they're going to have to win the SEC championship to get in the college football playoffs. They're just damned and determined to get Cincinnati, probably Notre Dame, and all these other shit teams in there. You know what I'm saying? So Alabama's got to win out, and you do that by a close game like this. They found a way to win. Kudos to them. My highlight of this game, Mike, was post-game. Nick Saban coming to the sideline. I wish we can include I've never seen him. It's like a kid in a candy store, and it's just like, is this Papa Saban? You know what I'm saying? And then him looking for Miss Terry at the end of the game. I was like, golly, man, there's a gentle side of Saban. Why don't we show this more often? So there was a lot of good, obviously, if you're an Alabama fan, but if you are an Auburn fan, I get it. You're pissed off. You're upset, and you should be, because this is a game you should have won.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, Shane, if Saban, how close is he near the end? I mean, he's getting his sweet and sensitive side. He's calling out Alabama fans for their high expectations. I was like, my word, when I seen all that. Yeah. But, yeah, we'll get to his comments here in a minute. But, he put it perfectly. It's the losses that stick with him. But he said now this will be one that sticks with him. So, just interesting. Yeah. He's had such issues with winning in Jordan-Hare, and it felt like this was going to be another one where Alabama comes up short on the Plains, but they get it done. Here I was, I call out the defense one week. This is the problem with Alabama, though. I mean, one week is the defense can't stop anybody. Then this game, I know Auburn, it's not like they have the greatest offense, but, I mean, their defense was on point. They were stifling them. But now the issue is the offensive line can't block anybody. And and once we had Jamison Williams get thrown out for a targeting, it's how damn bizarre is it to have a receiver get thrown out for targeting? All we had is John Mechie. Now he stepped up, 13 catches, 150 yards. I mean, my God, Auburn, you only got to stop one guy, but hey, he got the job done. So let's give Mechie credit. But it just goes to show, Shane, that outside of Williams and Mechie, Bryce Young, Will Anderson. I mean, I know I just named 4 All-American type players, but that's about all the real difference makers Alabama's got this year, when they usually got about 20 of them. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like the flaw of this Alabama team, where they're good, they're very, very good, but they're inconsistent. And I don't know, all these issues that I'm seeing, that's going to be one hell of a nightmare if they don't. If they play like they did here against Auburn, they're going to get crushed by Georgia.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Mike, because what is Georgia good at? And that's getting pressure on the quarterback. So, I mean, Georgia's front 4 feels like front 6 sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And if this offensive line doesn't tighten up real quick, they're going to live in the backfield. So I think Georgia's licking their chops here, but you can never count Alabama out. And this is a prime example, Mike. They're down 10-0. You think there's no way that this game is over. Auburn's. I'm sending out tweets, Mike. I'm making videos and I was waiting. I was like, okay, now it's a safe time to go ahead and upload this video. And as soon as I did that, somebody sent me, "Not so fast, my friend." I was like, shit, Cold Take's going to get me like Mike here in a minute. So, but yeah, this was a great game. I mean, it was. Forget the outcome. Just if you're not a fan of either team, you could have really enjoyed watching this game. Obviously, Auburn's took a hit, but there's a lot of Tide fans, man, that got humbled this week, but they know that they got to get prepared for this SEC championship.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's kick it over to Nick Saban and Brian Harsin, and in particular, pay attention to the last question Harsin gets asked about his status there at Auburn. I don't know how I feel about this one.
Made some good adjustments at halftime, did a much better job in the second half of moving the ball, and always didn't, pan out for us. But, man, you cannot ever imagine players competing in a game any better than what they competed in this game. I'm talking about the defense getting stops when they needed to, the offense going on a, whatever that was, 90-some yard drive to tie the game, players playing and making plays that hadn't played that much this year, that were young players, but after halftime it just seemed like everybody was all in, and we were fighting like I've never seen us fight, all year long, and it's a great feeling.
Nick, you've had a lot of weird games not go your way in the stadium. The pick six, the kick six, missed field goals. What's it like emotionally being on the other end of it for once?
Well, I just had a feeling that, the way we were playing on defense, that we were going to have some opportunities and be able to come back in the game. Now, I thought that was not a good feeling when we botched the first field goal snap and didn't come out with any points, on that drive, because that would have made 10-3. But it feels really good. More than anything else, sometimes should you equate what you accomplish in this profession from how many games you win, or how many winners you help to develop so that they have a chance to be not only winners on the field but winners in life. And the way these guys sort of overcame adversity in this game and showed great resiliency, and the way they performed, and I said that to them in the locker room after the game. This is something you should always remember, that when you put your best foot forward and you fight, and you really believe in something and you do it together as a group, what you can accomplish. So that may happen to you sometime in your life too. So, but anyway, I can't tell you that it feels good. Feels really good to come back and get a win.
And then, considering everything that Bryce went through throughout this game, how proud are you of the way he threw down the stretch?
Well, it wasn't Bryce's fault that he was struggling in the first half. We weren't giving him much of a chance. But I think he's got a lot of mental toughness. He's got a lot of grit about him. He's kind of quiet in his demeanor and the way he goes about things, but he's always, kept telling the offense, we're going to get this right. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. And I think the players really believe in him. And then when we started making a couple plays and moving the ball, I think we got a little confidence. And I think that helped not only him, but the players around him play better, which enabled him to make a lot of plays that we needed him to make, which he was pretty outstanding in the second half.
Coach, second halves have been a little rough here down the last half of the season. From a coaching standpoint, how do you guys get things turned around in terms of game planning and play calling?
Well, yeah, we'll go back and look at the entire year. We'll have a chance to do all that. Every game is, unique to that particular team that you're playing, and, what are some of those reasons in the second half? We've determined from the games that we played, just execution, play calls, you name it. It's a combination. It's never one thing. It's a combination of things. And the bottom line is in the second half, and we showed it today. There were some good things in the second half that we did, and ultimately, not enough as we got into overtime. So, we played a second half of football, and we didn't play that fifth quarter like we wanted to, and that was the result. Is we didn't win the game. So, those will be evaluations as we get through the entire year. We'll have a chance to look at some of that into our bowl prep. But that's what you go back and evaluate. What's our second half? What's our first half? And there's a lot of things that we're going to work to improve on, which, every single year that's what you do as a staff is you go back and review the things that you did and you look at what you learned from that and you try to apply that moving forward.
Recruiting thing and all that stuff and getting going forward. So does that mean that you are committed to staying here? There's been rumors about you potentially looking at other jobs. Does that mean, from what you're saying, that you're committed to continue on here at Auburn?
I'm always committed to what I'm doing. This is, we're just coming off a tough game. I came to Auburn for a reason. I mean, look at the history of my coaching career, and this isn't about me. This is about our team tonight. We played a good football team. We didn't win. I'm disappointed. Our players are disappointed. I care more about what the hell they think, and that we got to take care of those guys. But there's a reason why we came to Auburn, and so just do a little research and see the history of the things that I've been able to do and been a part of, and there's a reason why we're here. Auburn's a great place. Love it. Love the community here. Love where we're going with this program. Disappointed as hell. But at the same time, excited about the future and the things that we're going to be able to do and the stuff that's happening here in this program. So, whatever you want to say with that right there, yeah. Those guys in that locker room know where I stand, and everybody in this program and this coaching staff knows where I stand. I love it here. I love the orange and blue, and we got a lot of more work to do. So we're going to continue that, and we're not going to let anybody distract us from doing the work necessary to go out there and be the type of team that we know we can be. And, as long as our guys stay focused, I will, and our staff, then we'll be able to achieve those things at some point. So, that's the single-minded focus that we have in this program coming from the head coach is where we're trying to go and how we're going to do it.
I just wanted to play that real quick, Shane, because, hell, I think we might – based on that, we may have another coaching change here in the SEC. You know what?
That's it, man. This door's never closed, is it? It's just it's a revolving carousel of coaches. It's a tough place, man. It's a tough place to be. Not everybody can be Nick Saban. And nobody can just sit down there or say Stoops. I guess he's the next longest term guy. It's tough to do in this league, and you just got to find ways to win, and you can't. It's a revolving door. You look at the years past. How many times have we had the same SEC championship? Yeah, the last 10 years, Alabama, those teams, LSU's, those have been up to the top. But if you look back 20, 30 years, it's a revolving door, man. Your team's going to suck at some point. So, and at that point, they're probably going to blame your coach. So, I don't know. Is this the year that he leaves? I hope he doesn't, man. I like what he's done down there at Auburn. I think in a few years he can really be competitive down there in the West. I hope he doesn't pull a Lincoln, realize he gotten a little too much. But I think he sticks around, Mike. What do you? Or do you think he's leaving? I'm hearing a lot of leaving, but I'm trying to stay positive here.
Yeah, I'm kind of hearing the same. I think he'll come back because I think it's a coward's way out to show up one year and peace out. So, hey, you came for the SEC for a reason. You came to compete for championships. Let's at least see if you can do it. And hell, the way we run it down here, if you can't get it done, well, here's a check for $20 million to go to hell.
That's right. Oh, poor Dan Mullen. I hope he's okay today.